you notice, it's got rubber on.
It's Thursday night at 7 on the dot. You know what comes next. We got a shed full of blokes with facts and jokes, all with a common interest. You can share your views, all things shady. You can join and chat whenever you are ready. Everybody's welcome, a chance for you. Join us in Shed Space. If you like the quiz, then don't miss this. We're looking for the GOAT. There's a golden carpet, if ever enough, you won't be allowed to gloat. Come and share your views on Shed Space.
I'm going to sample that.
Join us in Shed Space. Join us in Shed Space.
Hello, Sheddies, and you join us again on Shed Space. And you might see here we've got a few new faces. Thanks for everyone for coming on board. Can you hear us first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Frank
All
had
good,
one or two
Frank.
issues before we came on, but resolved now. It won't be Shed Space without a few technical glitches. So, anyway, it was meant to be Mark coming in tonight from Cat Woodwork, but he couldn't make it. He gave me a call last night. And we've got a few new guests that we've not met before. Frank, we know Frank. He's been on a few episodes before.
Yay!
We've got Calum from Scoping Out Tools. You may have seen him in the chat before. Oh, he's even got his cap on. Look, is it Parkside? And
No.
We've also got a celebrity in the house, Leo from Hand Eye Craft. A lot of people know Leo already. Thanks for coming on, gents.
Pleasure.
So we've got a few comments coming through already. We're on to 36 watching us at the moment, which I think is fun. At this stage of the game, that's not too bad at all. I've got this music playing in the background. Let me just get rid of that. I thought it might have had an extra touch. It's the rock background. Yeah, get rid of it. Right. So I've got Calum as my sort of wingman tonight. So instead of me trying to keep control of the comments, I can't do two things at once. Callum's going to do that. Thanks a lot, Calum. He's going to bring them up on the screen, and we've got a few banners that will come up every so often. Of course, we'll do Shed Goat. Got the leaderboard bit, which we are at that side. We'll crack on with that in a bit. But first of all, let's start off with Calum. I don't know if you want to say, Calum. I mean, you've not long had a YouTube channel, and I asked him if he would come on tonight, and I thought he'd say, I don't know. He went, yeah, of course I will. So, for those who don't know, Calum from Scoping Out Tools. Who is Calum?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So basically, I working and also restoring the tools. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to actually then take them and put them under microscopes to actually see the effects of everything. And basically, that's it. I don't work to plans, so I'm obviously good here. So I'm more fluid when I come to actually making stuff. So I just make it up as I go along. But yeah, it's quite fun making YouTube things, but it's just very time consuming. So I've got videos lined up, but they just now need to be edited into something.
Yeah, of course. You're doing a cracking job, mate. I think you're getting the views at the minute. People are coming on board, and yeah, I've got I need to get some advice from you on my microscope I've just got. So we need to have a catch up soon. Yeah. And Leo, the 5th best woodworker in the UK. For those who don't know, who's been living under a rock, Leo. Who is Leo?
Right. Good evening, gents. Thanks for having us on. So, my name's Leo Winstanley. I only took up woodworking about 6 years ago. And it was a bit of a different pathway for me because I was in a really bad car crash 7 years ago, suffered really bad nerve damage. I'd lost the use of my dominant right arm and hand. So that wasn't great for me. You know, I was a music teacher. I was a professional piano player. So my whole life changed literally overnight. So I wanted to take up and learn a new skill. It was suggested to me that because, instead of beating myself up for things I could no longer do. So I came back with woodworking. I decided I wanted to try my hand at one-handed woodworking. And it started out just as a little hobby, building, making tea light holders. Then tea light holders became chopping boards. And then I thought it might be a good idea to document it on YouTube because, my self-confidence had taken a bit of a hit, self-belief, all that kind of thing. I had really bad to do with my mental health. And I wanted to kind of like regain a bit of self-value, self-worth, that kind of thing. So I decided to try and document it on YouTube, and that's kind of like how hand-eye craft came about. And fast forward it now, kind of 6 years on. So YouTube channel's going okay. This is my business. This is my career now. I make furniture. I create content. I have my own products. So there's kind of a bit of a multifaceted thing to things, and I'm quite blessed for that. I feel really grateful for that. A lot of it's coming out because of the support I have, from the maker community, via social media.
Yeah. A lot. Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, look, we love to hear these stories, and it's a shame Marking's on tonight as well because he's a big advocate of mental health and
I've seen a lot of his stuff, and he's great. He puts himself out there, and he talks about it, and that's the kind of thing really we should be normalizing. I think I've referenced it when I was at Maker Central. I did that sort of, agreed to do that talk around mental health in the woodworking community, the maker community, content creator community as well. And I think it's a really important thing that we do talk about. Don't want to bring things down, but it's great that that kind of thing exists now, and it's because mental health and that kind of thing. It's a big part of woodworking. A lot of folk do woodworking, making to support their mental health, don't they? Massively, it's their escape.
Of course,
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you hear these stories from Men in Sheds, that organisation that helps guys that are they might be widowed or a certain stage in life where they haven't got a shed or they've got a workshop. But I think it's more about the people in it and the fact that 100%. They can go somewhere and just chat. Yeah. The funny thing was that at Maker Central, I mean, it's the first time I went to Maker Central. I loved it. I mean, it's the first time, and I know the woodworking side may have, tools-wise, may have dropped back a little bit. But for me, amongst anything, it was the people, just talking to people in general. You could have been, in a way, anywhere. It was like being a football supporter with all you are also supporting the same team, but you're standing on the ground while you're talking about it. It's this sort of, your surrounding is perfect almost. And
it literally could, if you just had a venue and said, look, call out to all makers across the UK, and, regardless of whether it's resin stat or whatever's going on in the background, people just want to meet and have a chat. That was the big thing of Makers this year. I got to meet yourself for the first time. I met Frank a couple of times at Makers now. I got to know Peter through 2019 when I first met him at Makers Central there, and it's an incredible atmosphere about the place. It is evolving as an event, if you like, but the crux of it isn't the stands. It's the people.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
And when you meet a few subscribers walking around as well, I wasn't expecting to see anyone really. And then you're expecting around Peter Millard, of course. He's got his following. Everyone's chasing after him and whatnot. And then when you see a few subscribers coming up and have a chat, I think it's amazing. The fact is you can just meet. When you see people in the comments, all they are is an icon on there. We know it's a person, but when you meet them in person, it just changes everything. And like you say, if you can have these events where you can have a meet-up and just talk about anything maker-wise, tools, chewing the fat. The thing is that this is what this sort of live stream is all about. It's not necessarily about making, it's just talking about things that crop up. We've gone into all sorts of subjects in the past. Frank will
I've just seen one pop up there from Scott, one-armed carpenter. I've met Scott and his family now, I think it's about 3 times at Makers. And literally, it's the highlight of my day. The family are just amazing. His boys, when they come up, and it's just kind of, they're just literally beautiful people. You know what I mean? It's so nice to have a chat with them. And when you see these lads, and they're getting older now. And just the enthusiasm for what they're doing, you know, is just
Yes.
incredible. Absolutely love it, you know. So hello there, Scott, because I know he's watching or listening. So best wishes to your family, mate.
Hello, Scott.
I think actually this might be his son there.
Oh yeah, that's Sons of One Arm Cap. Yeah, they've got their own. That's it. They got their own Instagram now, you know. So you've got to give them a follow. They're absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
What's their Instagram account? Is it
Sons of One Arm Carpenter? Yeah. So
brilliant. Anyone watching, go and check out their Instagrams. Have we got any other comments coming through from?
I've got one person saying Hythe Woodwork Design saying what?
Oh, that's Gary. Yeah, Gary. Gary visited the workshop last week, so he stepped in here. It looked a little bit different. It was an I mean, it's not great now. It's still a mess. But I wouldn't have done this in here last week. It was an absolute shambles. So
you get to those stages, don't you, where you have to have a spring clean, and then you have to make down these like this. Never.
Yeah.
I think of the pictures on Instagram where they do these amazing shots with the on the windowsill. Look at behind the camera. We want to see behind the camera. What's the rest of it?
Yeah. The strategic angles. That's what they call. Yeah, the strategic angles of filming.
So one question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was just going to say one question about your channel, Leo. Ken has actually asked, why is it hand-eye craft or hand-eye craft and not handicraft?
Handicraft, yeah, that's a good question. This one was kind of Pam's idea, that the hand-eye. I wanted to get hand in the singular, because handy's kind of plural, isn't it? You know what I mean? So or it can be construed that way. So I wanted the hand to be singular and it to be about kind of like a hand-eye coordination sort of thing. That was the original idea, because I was right-handed, and I've had to teach myself to be left-handed. And gents, you really do not realise how useless your non-dominant hand is until it's the only hand that you've got to use, you know. So that's kind of where it came from, and the craft was kind of about learning the craft, learning the skill. So that's how hand-eye-craft came around. And handicraft there's a lot of, if you kind of go onto socials and put handicraft in, there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. Like, so wanted to do something, but Pam came up with the actual name, although we talked about, and she designed a logo for me as well. So the other one I get asked is, why is it a right hand on the logo, considering it's my left, but it's a shadow of my left hand. Or a reflection, sorry, I should say. It's a reflection of my left hand. So I get asked that one quite a bit as well. So there we go. Hope that clears that one up.
Anyway, a bit of curiosity. Anyway, you need a bit of curiosity when people ask questions. It's like I've still not told people where I wear my rubber gloves. I might do it one day. I get asked a lot. They've stopped asking me now.
It's Columbo's wife, isn't it? It's you're never gonna always promise that you will give the answer, and it's always the next episode.
That's right. That's it. That's the best. I was just going to mention Sean as well. Look, Sean, such a positive. Have you got his comment? In fact, let me bring it up here. Yeah. Sean, we're talking about mutual sort of subscribers here. Sean is just positivity all the time. You know, when you get real comments, commentors, king commentors. And I was at Maker Central and speaking to the other guys there as well, and just positivity, and loads of others as well. I just saw Sean there, and I thought, look, I just highlight it. Sean,
100%, totally agree. You know, he's got such a, although I've never met him, you know, such a positive outlook in the things he says. He's, you know, we've got a connection with the Walton Centre, which is the neurological hospital who look after me, and so I've spoke with Sean kind of, not publicly, if you like, you know, and he just comes across as such a lovely, lovely guy, you know, family man, and his positivity and his feedback and comments is, you know, I can't express my gratitude enough. Seriously, Sean, thanks for that, pal.
Sean,
yeah, I second that. I second
that. We've never brought it up before with Sean, but and there's a few others as well. Adam on there, he's always got the one-liners. He's got a different sense of humor. Adam, where is he? He's not in. Is he in? Oh, he's in. He's put. Sorry, I can't join you tonight. Oh, there we go. Adam's good at the one-liners. I still want to meet him up soon. He's not far from me actually, and it will happen. It will happen at some point. So I don't know, Leo. About go on. Sorry.
So just saying, Ken's has uncovered the mystery of the black gloves that you wear.
I've been sussed already. I think I've had every scenario thrown at me so far, but
I'm sure that's a line from a Carry On film. That's Matron.
Matron. Oh, Matron. Literally all Matron. So yeah, I'm just curious, Leo. We've seen you on. Well, I've seen a few episodes. I'm going to watch the rest now. It's all on demand, by the way. 4OD.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't seen it, you mentioned actually before we came on that it's been successful over the pond as well.
Yeah, internationally, it's sold. It's done really well. It's done well in Europe, but the two biggest places I've had like correspondence from Australia and the US. You know, and as just said before we came on, you think the US, because they've got all this wealth of woodworking talent and all that stuff that goes on, huge YouTube channels and stuff like that. You'd never imagine they'd be interested in like a little program in the UK about, you know, woodworking. Internationally, gents, it's marketed as Good with Wood. It's not called Britain's Best Woodworker. So they want. I've heard. Yeah. Well, I believe that's what they wanted for here, but Channel 4 said no.
Too far.
Too carry on. Yeah, too much of a carry on. So it was the original title. What they wanted for the UK was Good with Wood, but they changed it to Handmade, Britain's Best Woodworker, which is a shame because people do the program down for the title of the program. You know, like because you know you get the Muppets online saying, "Oh, Britain's Best Woodworker, what an absolute joke!" And you think, no, it isn't Britain's Best Woodworker. Let's be honest, because the best woodworkers in Britain wouldn't do a 2-day challenge. You've got to build a 4-poster bed in 2 days. They'd be going, "I'll see you later, mate. No chance of doing that." You know, so it is. It's a lot.
It's commercialized.
Yeah, it is. It follows the formats of what the Bake Off, the Sewing Bee. It's a very successful format, isn't it? And the idea is they are huge challenges. The drama, they're looking for the drama. They're always incredible. Whenever you've got a slight mistake about to happen, they just know what's going, and they're there on you, and it's like, how are you feeling about that? Content. That's what they want. That's exactly what it's all about. But it was filmed nearly 3 years ago. We had to wait over a year for our series to come out. But series 2 and Series 2 and Series 3 were filmed literally within a couple of months of each other. And the Series 2 one came out in October 2022, and ours came out in November 2023. But I've said this on multiple occasions. It's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. It was just a phenomenal thing to be involved in. You know what I mean? And I genuinely loved every minute of it. It was amazing.
I bet you did. I mean, it did. I mean, for what I've seen so far, it did look a great laugh. And the thing is, what's her name? I was having a conversation.
Mel Goodrich. Goodrich.
She said Goodrich, and I said it doesn't look like that when it's spelled. She looked like she sounds like a real one-liner, sort of quick.
Oh, she was great. Do you know what? She was just so she was really funny, but on the thing for the take, just like the consummate professional. So I've kept in touch with Mel actually, but she came up to Liverpool. She was co-hosting when the Eurovision was on. So I went up and met with her. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. We're just having a drink and a bite to eat in this, and literally everybody going past. I thought, well, they're not. They're not.
Is that Leo? They're going. Is that Leo?
Yeah, turn around to Mel and say, "Could you take a picture of me?" And
brilliant. Yeah, oh, she's posing there, and then no, you. Oh, amazing.
So,
I'm just looking. Just looking at the comment there. Yeah, go on. Is that what you're going to say, Calum? Sorry.
Yeah. So on the comment, on Handmade, you obviously had access to massive amount of tools. So I think it was mostly Makita kit as well.
It was Makita. Makita Festool. Oh, sorry, mate.
No. All I was just going to say was, could you bring your own tools, and did anyone bring Parkside? So, but carry on with what.
Well, that's a very good question because I had a bit of. I won't say it's a special case in the sense, but I had conversations with the technicians and stuff well prior to me going down there, because there were certain tools I can use and I can't use. I took an Aldi Ferex nail gun on the show, right? So 18 gauge nail gun, and there's shots on it where it's being used because there was no compressors allowed, and they didn't have any battery powered brad nail guns or anything like that. And I said I tend to use them even if it's just to tack something in place while I'm, fixing it in place properly. So they said, yeah, that's fine. So I had an Aldi Ferex nail gun on. So I was allowed to take a couple of others, but they kind of generally had to be in line with the sponsors. So Axminster, Felder, Makita, Festool, because they had the dominoes on. But I was allowed to take my ETS EC sander, the Festool one, because the Makita sander, it's got like a really high profile and it just burns me good armor. Those ones where they're right above the work surface. You're kind of constantly having to micro move, and it just burns my arm out in no time. So the Festool one, it's kind of like lower profile, it's balanced and it's lighter, so they let me take that on. But yeah, good question. But I did get an Aldi Ferex nail gun onto Britain's Best Woodworker.
You should be in touch with Aldi now, because I reckon you get out to the supermarket suite. I think the supermarket suite, grab as many things as you can from the middle aisle from that promo. So if you're watching Aldi, get in touch with Leo. And if Lidl's watching, Parkside, you got my number.
Well, I think I bought that nail gun because of Frank's review.
Nice.
All right,
It's my fault.
Yeah, there you go. Frank done a review, and I bought the nail gun on the strength of that.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it works. It works, Frank. It works. These demos, boxes, they help a few.
Excellent. Funny enough, my one's still working as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's still going strong.
Still going strong.
Okay. Talking about Parkside, I got a few emails firing through the other day. There's a YouTube channel called Broke Life EU, and I've not seen his channel before. He went to Budapest to see the one and only Parkside designated shop in the world, the only one. So he did a quick walk around, and everyone was emailing me saying, "You need to get yourself to Budapest. You got this one shop."
Yeah.
I just wondered why they put it there in the first place, but anyway, it looks like somewhere I'm going to have to visit very soon.
Yeah. At least that's what he had on his business receipts. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I need to go on a business trip to see the Parkside shop.
I wasn't sure if it was. It might be because the people who make the Parkside stuff, like we were talking about earlier, Walter Ruckkrug, Salzburg, and the Omni are both German-based, and they might not be allowed to sell under the Parkside or the Parkside badge as a store for them. Maybe not, and that might be why it's based in Budapest. But if people
makes sense.
Yeah. If people know, say, somebody sort of said they've got the actual channel here, Broke_EU.
Oh, Adrian. Hello, Adrian.
Yeah.
How's the robotic lawnmower getting on from Parkside?
All right. Oh, right.
Was he one of the remote lawnmower?
Yeah, he's. I put it on my video actually the other day, because there's one come out now from Aldi, and it's the. I can't remember the name of it now. The same price, £199, but that one you control on a phone. So it's like an app. You can guide it around your garden, sit back in your deck chair, and watch your lawn being mowed. So I think that's amazing. That. Right, we're almost halfway through. Let's jump in now while we're halfway. While the comments are coming through again. What I'll do is shed goats. So anyone that doesn't know about shed goats, it's a little competition we do. 5 questions each time we do it. It goes on the scoreboard. And because of broadband speed, if somebody put a question out there and quite a few people might get, then you might get the winning answer a lot quicker than somebody else. So we made it so that it's a question that you're not likely to know the answer to, like a number or a year or something like that. And it's the closest to. But we always say, don't check Google. Don't check the A word, right? Because you've got to sleep at night. But I say this, and I think to myself, some people do it and think, I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm no problem at all. I'm all happy. I won the competition. So, yeah, don't check your answers on Google. We know if you are. Right, so we've got a few questions. I've covered the rules. Oh, and that's the other thing. The rules are ours, yeah? So if you're questioning where we got these questions from, you can put them in the comments. Say, well, that don't make sense. But they still stand. I've got a list of questions and numbers or years, and you need to find the closest one to it. So, enough waffle. I'll do the first one if you like. Oh, Frank, you're doing number
5.
5.
Right. Well, okay. I'm on my camera now, on my phone now, so I don't know if I can get to that. Let me try.
Don't need to do it. Oh, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you if you struggle. Well, let's see how I get on. I'll do the first one anyway. Then I think I'm doing the first one. Yeah. Okay. So ready on the keypads. If you're on your big TV in the front room, hello. Use your phone at the same time. Yeah. Because I was told at the Micro Central that, do you realise when you're right up the screen, people are watching it on their 82-inch screens in the front room? Well, I never realised that. I thought everyone was sat with a phone, you know what I mean? Like I do. So I probably need to stand back a bit. Anyway, first question. This is a sort of standard of questions, anyone that's new here, that you're going to get on here, right? Mm-hmm. So how many cornflakes, approximately, are in a 500-gram box? How many cornflakes, approximately?
And we're talking about Kellogg's cornflakes. It's important that it's Kellogg's cornflakes.
Do you know when
not
people
little?
on your own
not
side,
it should be little, shouldn't it? Should be little. Like, come on, we've got to be on brand here, fellas. Come on.
I don't know what the little one is actually. Is it born faux flakes? Faux flakes. Faux flakes.
Faux flakes.
Faux flakes. FAUX. Faux flakes. Right, we've got any numbers coming through. We all know what the answer is, and this.
There's 2 that have came out at the same number, and they're both the close
exactly.
one person that was first.
Don't give hints, right? Because I've done that before and said, "Oh, that's nearly right," and then everyone puts the same number. So,
all right.
It's an experience here. Oh, right. We'll do a countdown shortly when everyone's got chance for their broadband speed to upload. Right, so the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was the last number? The last number was 2400. Sons of one of the commenters. So anything from the other side up, and the answer is 7122.
Yep. So we've got 2 people in at 7,000, but the first person to come in at 7,000. Sorry, I just lost who they were. It was Ken Haley.
Ken Haley. Yeah, we all agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Get the cowbell. Ken Haley. By the way, is that too loud? By the way, for anyone's earphone, or is it all right?
You are.
You are.
I'm just glad to be able to hear it. That's all.
Right, so Ken Haley's on there. I tried to find, and there's one I didn't know as well, because his shed goat is greatest of all time. So I tried to find, I said this in one of the episodes, to find a goat's bell. They're microscopic like that. I thought, no, we need something a bit like that. We started off with a horn. But I thought, that's not really suitable for a shed goat. So anyway, who's next? Who is next? Who is next?
Did you?
For that one?
Yeah,
I'll do that one if you will. I'll do 2 and 3. All right. Okay. Okay. Question 2. What year was Black & Decker founded? What year was Black & Decker founded?
Black & Decker. Black & Decker. Good old Black & Decker.
Yeah. Just trying to think what country it was.
I did know. I had a look. I can't remember. Can't remember now. I should have wrote it down. How many was that? The first power tool we ever had was Black & Decker. It was for me anyway. Is it for everyone else?
I had that 3-in-1 thing. It was kind of a jigsaw, a drill driver, and a sander.
Yeah.
Awful.
They dropped the ball. That did they, at the time. Was that like revolutionary?
I suppose it was a good concept. Just the execution. It was awful. So.
Yeah. What's that tool that's a lathe, a bandsaw, and a circular saw in one? I know.
Is it Shopsmith? The
Shopsmith. It's similar to that, is it, Shopsmith?
Death Trap, by the sounds of it.
I thought it was the Shopsmith. More common in America, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or I've seen it more.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Channels. Yeah.
I know the Brett's got one in his.
The guy who does the videos is a really good woodworker that's got the crazy hair and the mustache, and he uses his dogs in his videos.
I won't see him. Who's that? I haven't seen that one.
I'll try and look him up. He's really good at giving advice.
Right, so we're going to do a countdown. Yeah.
Right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the last 3 people that have came in have said the right answer, but the first person to have said it was Hythe for 1910.
Yeah, 1910.
Bang
well
on,
done.
mate.
Spot on.
And it was actually used on the Titanic, their first bit of kit.
Wow.
And it didn't work out quite well for the Titanic.
No.
I just made that up.
It
didn't get used to the Titanic at all.
Did they make binoculars? Did they? And just
the iceberg warning bell. I know someone in the UK who used to own a Shopsmith.
There you go.
Right.
I think it is Brett in tonight. Brett from Useless to Useful. He's got one in his garage. I don't think he's in tonight, actually, but yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, Shopsmith. There we go. 3. Do you want me to
that's me as well. Yeah, right. Okay. Question 3. How many Lego pieces have ever been manufactured in total? So how many Lego pieces have ever been manufactured in total?
They are actually the largest pneumatic tire company in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah.
There's about 2 million pieces in our house. So big fan of Lego.
If you get kids about, normally under your feet, aren't they? In the worst position.
Stepping on them in the middle of the night. Yeah, you don't want to know about that. Yeah. So how many Lego pieces have ever been manufactured in total?
So we've got 1 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion, 200 billion, a lot. 200 billion, 100 billion, 50 billion. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How many? And this is pieces as well, not blocks. This is like separate pieces.
Individual pieces, yeah.
Yeah, and if it's a Lego hinge, it's counted as 2 pieces. If that helps with your calculations.
Oh well, people are going to have to go back to scratch and starting again now.
Calculate now.
Do you know what? You wonder. We've had some crackers on here where we've tried to work out. I've gone online and had a look. And I'm thinking, how on earth have they worked this out? But you know, now you type it into Google and it comes AI spots it up, brings it up. So it does it for you. You ain't going to rely on Wikipedia or whatever else. Okay, we'll do countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
What was the answer?
Right. The answer is 1.1 trillion.
Trillion.
1.1 trillion.
And it's Hythe again, who's out by 50 billion at 1.15 trillion. I'm assuming that's what you meant by T.
Hythe. We get it.
Wow.
Well done. Ring the bell. What number are we on? What number are we on to?
Number 4. Right.
Number
so
4.
Is myself.
That's yours.
In Celsius, what is the coldest ever temperature recorded on Earth?
Now,
in
this
Celsius,
is Go on.
Sorry, I'm just repeating it again. In Celsius, what is the coldest ever temperature recorded on Earth?
Now, that isn't in a manufactured freezer or anything like that. This is out in the open. If anyone wants to pick holes in it. Blooming cold, though. Cold. I was in when I was in Finland. It got down to minus 25 degrees at night.
Right.
I've never had a feeling like that. I've never. You snot up your nose freezes. It's the strangest feeling. You get out the car and instantly, like.
I've been in a thermal spa in Iceland in minus 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
outside, it was, but like ice all over my head and stuff. But inside, it was amazing. Yeah,
it's a strange thing, though, isn't it? Because all the snow's compacted, so it's like concrete. So it's not like over here it gets wet and slushy and miserable. It's rock hard there, and it feels dry. It doesn't feel damp. It's not damp, is it? It's frozen.
No. I was a smoker when it was that beast from the east, and it was going outside for a cigarette, and you take one draw and you fill up your air with the cold air, and it was like, and that was in the UK, and that was when we were down to minus 6 to feel like minus 18. I think was the height of the beast,
and it feels cold. Yeah.
It's wind chill, wasn't it? That's what gets you, like, it can be, but
exactly. Yeah. Right,
okay,
count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, and it was minus 89.2. So
minus
there was.
That's Celsius. That's Celsius or centigrade.
That was a.
That's the same thing. I mean, that's what I meant. Yeah,
degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's an interesting thing. Why are you looking for that? There's no difference between centigrade and Celsius, is there?
Yeah.
No.
There's not.
No, it's Fahrenheit, isn't it? Fahrenheit. And Celsius.
No. You don't like. There's obviously a difference there, but when you say centigrade or Celsius, there's no difference between the two. I think it's just because people used to say centigrade.
Centigrade.
Now they say Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah. So it was Dances with Aardvarks. So there was about 3 that got minus 90. So Dances with Aardvarks was the first in.
Dancers, well done, the dancers.
Yeah.
I think he's on the
board. So I think centigrade obviously came from probably the 100 grade, because it was everything was, the boiling temperature was, freezing to boiling was 0 to 100. So I think that's where it came from, centigrade. Cent for 100.
And
then because obviously in Fahrenheit you didn't have it as the 100 grade, and that because we were doing all old money stuff. Right. So and then I think Celsius is the actual term in French. or which I think it was originated from. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Every day's a learning day. That's it. That's
It
good
is,
knowledge.
it
That, mate.
is.
Good knowledge.
And I sort of mention it because I've said in videos before centigrade, and then I've sometimes said Celsius, and I've thought there's going to be a comment at some point. Someone's going to go, it should be Celsius or it should be centigrade. No one said a word, so I'm thinking, is there a difference between the two? Anyway, you've described it beautifully there, Calum. Thank you.
Yeah, well
Science. Science.
Science.
But we
Calum.
should really be using Kelvin, as Adrian does point out, because sorry, wrong comment. Because Kelvin, when you're 0, that you can't get any temperature lower than that. Yeah. So it's
what is it? Is it minus 270 something? Is it? Kelvin?
Yeah. Minus 273, or is it 274? He says minus 273. So, or that I can never remember exactly. But liquid helium is about minus 270 degrees. So that's our coldest liquid. I don't think you can do liquid hydrogen.
Right.
Anyway, question 5. And
the other word for it is
Frank,
FC.
Question 5.
Right. Okay. So this is my handwriting again. The earliest. What century was the earliest evidence of a wood lathe being used, or a lathe in general, just a lathe? What was the earliest evidence of a lathe being used? What century?
Not a Parkside lathe, obviously.
No. Even then, they wouldn't touch them. This came along, Mr. Parkside did, and they went, nah, we're not touching that at 20 quid.
Forget that.
Yeah, I love it. I do. I think it's great. I've only used it a few times, though, so I'll tell you when it's exploded in my face. So we've got some answers coming through. 11th century, 16th century, 600 BC, 500 BC.
Yeah, let me. So,
Anything? Right, gives us plenty of time. Let's do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is the 4th century BC.
Yeah. So let me try and work that out, because if it's a 4th century BC, it'll be in the 300s, or would it be in the 400s?
Be in the 300s. Oh, hang on. Yeah, of course it would. It's going backwards. 4th.
Yeah,
no.
That's it.
No. Is it the 5th century? Is it the 5th? Is it the 500 BCs? Is it if it's 4th century BC?
Right.
Oh, that's the difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, somebody has mentioned the bow lathe in 300 BC. So I'm going to go with people saying 300 BC being the closest to it. But they weren't the first one to say 300 BC. It was Ken Haley again.
Ken.
So, but it did. I did say a century. You know what century? So you can't really say.
Sorry, 300 BC. Yeah. He did say century.
Right. Okay.
Oh, who's the closest century? Oh.
But is it the 500s though? If it's the 4th century BC, it's going the opposite way around, isn't it? So if it was the 3rd century, it would be the 200s.
Yeah.
Backwards, it's the other way around, isn't it? You should know this, Calum. Come on.
I'm not a historian.
You went to university, mate.
I'm a scientist, Jim.
Yeah. That's the Romans. What did they ever do for us? So
bloody Romans.
I'd say. Oh, okay. Adam says it's 4th is just 400 BC. Okay, so
whatever you choose, Calum, it is the rules. That is the one. So don't worry if it's controversial afterwards. Or is it two? Is there 2 people? We can put 2 on there.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone that said 400 BC. So I'm going to go with the 300 BC, and that was Ken Haley.
Ken Haley, right? Ken, well done, Ken.
Yeah, stick with it. Well done, Ken.
And if Callum's missed one, it's his fault. Not mine. Don't blame me. Right, that's it. Well done, everybody. Oh, didn't ring the bell.
Yay!
Well done, everybody. So we're up to week 3. We've got another 3 left, and you win. Oh, where is it? Ah, it's here. This is what you win. The little golden cup.
Nice.
Shed goat. So you never get it. You just get to look at it. And I'll send you a prize out or something. It's normally Parkside stuff, but it's pure gold. We don't want to be sending this out. Because you never get it back.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, by the way, Griff is our current shed goat. Before that was Ian, so we've got to get up to a third at some point, hopefully in the next 3 weeks. So thanks a lot, gents. And I don't know, Calum, have you been looking through any sort of questions, comments, anything you want to chat about?
So
anything?
there was a question at the very, very beginning, which was someone asking for advice on small projects when they've got a tiny workshop and they don't have that many tools. So they're asking for, I suppose I'm asking for YouTube recommendations. So
your YouTubers out there looking for a small project.
Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubes out there. I'm looking for small projects for having a small shed that they're turning into a workshop in UK. So if there's any good ones to actually follow with you not actually having that many tools.
I'm trying to think now.
So one person that I would actually recommend just now is came out with something really nice this week, was Andy Firth Bespoke. And he just showed wooden hinges, how to make a wooden hinge. It's like an 8-minute video, but 5 minutes of it is I'm showing how to make the hinge, and another 3 minutes is I'm talking about asking what people want for in the channel. So Andy Firth Bespoke is really good carpenter. I've got a couple of things that I'm planning to do based on what he's been showing. He comes out with a new video every Wednesday, and he's just hit about 2.5 thousand subscribers, and in over about 3 months. He's had it for a channel for a few years, had a few hundred subscribers, and then his channel's just taken off. So that I would recommend.
Actually, yeah.
Part
of that question was it turning a shed into a workshop.
I think it's just he wants some little project ideas.
I'd probably recommend searching by project rather than channel. So if you're thinking like, if you've got a small shed, you've got limited tools, what can I make with them? So, candle holders always springs to mind because it's the first thing I made, tea light holders. So maybe search that, because you'll tend to find beginner-friendly projects tend to be limited tools stuff anyway. So maybe I'm trying to think on the fly here, like, and maybe look at it something along those lines. And as you say, like channels that are starting up tend to be from beginners, like kind of friendly stuff, really. So maybe look for. As you said, what was the one you said, Calum? What was the? I'll have to look that one myself.
It's Andy Firth Bespoke.
Bespoke, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the one you mean.
And it's good as well to look as well if you pick a particular tool that you've got, like a jigsaw, because a jigsaw you can make so much just from a jigsaw alone. If you can adapt it, and so just look for 100 great uses for a jigsaw, or 10 great uses for a jigsaw, or whatever tools you've got, basically, whatever's in your arsenal. It might be another way of looking at it. I wondered though, is it more because he wants to turn it into a workshop and he's got limited tools to make it into a workshop? I don't know, but just one. If it is something along those lines as well, when I first built this shed on a sort of budget, I used old furniture, used old cabinets, old wardrobe doors, all that sort of thing. Just to say, making things from scratch. Sometimes you're starting from bare bones, where you can buy something secondhand or free that's already assembled. So anyway, if that's what you're asking. Small project, yeah, good point, Adam. Pallet wood, of course. Countless things been made from pallet wood. There's probably a million videos out there on things you can make with pallet wood.
Yeah, Phil Wyatt does some good stuff. Phil does a he does kind of like he's well into his parkside stuff, but he does a lot of beginner friendly projects as well. You know, like just simple things like, you know, what was one he done the other day? It was just for, it was like a toilet roll holder or a, you know, that kind of,
a kitchen
yes,
towel holder.
kitchen towel. That was it. Yeah, you know, and his stuff's very beginner friendly orientated, like, you know, like some of the stuff he does. So that might be worth checking out. It's Phil Wyatt's Projects, I think, is his
Workshop.
channel.
Phil
Workshop.
Wyatt's Workshop.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar
Yeah.
to, he uses things out of old materials as well. I know he reuses a lot. Similar to Brett from Useless to Useful channel. We all know Brett. He's got so many little ideas. He got an abundance of little gas bottles, and he's made countless things out of those. I think he's about to bring a book out on it, actually. Heath Workshop, simple projects, cheese board, picture frames, cutting box. Yeah, of course. Cutting box. Yeah, perfect. Such a day one thing.
Yeah. So Sean's just because I have seen Sean commenting on Andy's channel as well. Yeah, I knew he was watching it. I think he started watching it about the same time as me, possibly, because just going by when the comments started to appear. Right. So somebody does actually ask, when they actually make these little projects, where do they actually sell them? Do they actually, or do you? So does anyone actually sell stuff?
Leo can answer this.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I've got a few outlets, if you like. There's a place in Liverpool called the Red Brick Market, which is an indoor UK independent makers market, really. And you pay your rent. I have an 8x4 wall space that I rent, but you don't have to staff it. That's the beauty of it. All you need to do is populate with what you've got. You pay a monthly rent. They don't take commission from you. They just take a 2% commission for the credit card fees. And that's proven to be a real success for us, you know, particularly for smalls, you know, tea light holders, coasters, charcuterie boards, that kind of stuff. That has been brilliant for me, because I think it's one of those smaller items like that when people can get hold of them and go, oh, actually, that's really nice. That, you know, it's because I tried selling charcuterie boards and stuff via my website, and it just didn't happen. You know, so it was
feel it.
Yeah,
Tactile,
exactly. That's why I never went for Etsy. I just thought Etsy was well, it's going to sound a bit disrespectful, but it's a bit of a race to the bottom. It's just packed full of mass-produced kind of stuff, which is fine. It has its place, but if you're trying to do like kind of artisan, handmade things, not the place for me. So I got the Red Brick Market. I do custom orders, like the desktop up behind us here. That came in just through my website, just through the contact us page. You know, I've been getting more and more of them over the last 6 to 12 months. So that's been great. I sell my own products online, so my woodwax and stuff. So I have my own website, and I sell my own products via there, and I'll do custom inquiries via that one. And I do maybe 3 or 4 a year, kind of artisan craft sale type things. There's a group of us here in Formby, which is just outside of Liverpool where I am, and kind of like a collaborative of different makers and stuff. So I'm doing some of those kind of sales type things for them. So yeah, it's kind of brilliant. Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's kind of finding your niche where you are, really. You know,
of course, I could get that.
You know, there's different
those
kind of red brick marketplaces are popping. I know there's one in Birmingham. I think there's one in Sheffield, and they're kind of popping up. But the rent's very, very, you know, you can rent a big unit if you want, but you can have a wall space at a very reasonable price. You know, it's for me, it's worth it in marketing alone. So I've got my QR codes for my website and my YouTube channel down there, and I would happily. The fact that it makes money is a bonus, because it's worth it just in terms of marketing.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's like your billboard. I mean, do you get many commissions from it? Are you being approached for really weird and wonderful things? Say, look, can you tackle this? And
yeah, it's been interesting, because there's kind of, I've been told in the past, you know, you don't say no to anything, but I've got to be realistic, you know, like, you know, so in terms of what I can do. So I take as things stand, and things are going. I'm very busy at the moment, and I've been. I was really busy in the run up to Christmas. I was in rushed off, and I genuinely expected January, February time, which is for most people, to be dead, you know, to be really quiet. and for whatever reason, custom orders inquiries started coming in. Then someone said to me actually that I think folk were quite reticent to spend money around the Christmas time, because just worried about the way things are in the country. And then actually after Christmas realised, we've got a little bit of extra money. Should we get that coffee table? Should we have this desk? Should we do those kind of things? So I've kind of benefited from that, really. So it's been really busy. I'm looking at kind of 3 to 4 months down the line before I can take on any new stuff at the moment.
Yeah, good. Oh, it's good to hear. It's good to hear these stories, and it's like you say. I think it's your journey, if you like, and what stage you're going to go out to next, and carrying on from there. Just fantastic. It's similar to they have I like these vintage, like the red brick, where you got all the vintage elements as well. They do that as well, so it's not just makers.
Massive,
stuff,
it's like. Like they used to call it second-hand clothing, they call it vintage now, don't they? So it's
jumble sale.
But there's I describe the place. It's full of nothing you need, but everything you want.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's probably the best when you go to that. There's over 250 traders in there now. And they've all got their own little weird and wonderful. It's literally everything. Anything from the macabre to vintage clothing to kind of woodworky type stuff like us. Jewelry's a big thing at the moment. Has been for the last year. Kind of bespoke jewelry stuff. So that's really interesting. Record shops, that kind of stuff in there. But it's a great. If you come into Liverpool, it's definitely a place to go and visit. Not just to buy stuff from my stand, obviously, but it's just it's worth a wander around. Yeah.
The first one to enter, straight to Leeds. You're not leaving here. You at least spend 20 quid with me. You ain't going anywhere else. I just saw on there, Adam Bryant. You got a channel, yeah? So looking for ideas from a channel. So I don't know Adam.
Right.
Do you know Adam, Leo, or I don't know if
the name rings a bell. I just is that the name of his channel? Yeah, because I think because when people comment, as you say, you don't, people virtually, but you don't, and then you think it's. I always have
know
this.
What you mean. I know what you mean. I've probably responded to Adam at some point as well.
Yeah, I always had this as a teacher because because I was like the last 15 years I was a music teacher. I was the only one in the school, so I taught over 500 kids. So the kids would say, "Well, I know your name." I was like, you know what I mean? Like the first year 7s, they've been there for 2 weeks and they got offended that I didn't remember the name. And I'm like, God, you know what I mean? It's 180 in each year.
I've always wondered that with teachers. With teachers, they must have a way with names to remember a kid that's now 25 and the buns on the street. Oh, I know your name straight away. Class of 25 kids every year. You've got to remember everybody's name. I mean,
and they know their brothers and sisters.
Siblings is a good way to remember. I always used to sit the kids in alphabetical order by the surname, so I'd refer, so that's one way I can.
Up there for thinking, yeah, exactly right. So Adam, sorry,
so it's his channel, and he's planning a shed build.
Right.
Okay, so it depends what your budget is, of course. Always down to budget and how good you are at scavenging materials. Obviously Rag and Bone Brownlee's got some series of videos he did building that summer house stroke garden room. Did it for 500 quid. I mean,
incredible.
I think he worked it out. He bought it all from scratch. It was about 3.5 bags altogether. So I mean, I was like that. It's he's done well, but that was scavenging. So I think he's been collecting his materials up for a while. It's all down to budget.
I think if he's planning a shed build, obviously look at it as like a mini series as well. Don't just don't do it as one 58-minute video or something. How you going about building the base, the walls, the roof. Are you cladding it, putting a door on, are you having a window, that kind of thing. So you could literally break it down into like a mini series.
And always end on suspense. Always end on suspense as well. What something's gone wrong? What happens in the next episode? Tune in next week to find out all that sort of business. See, I'm not
Frank, did you do a
video? I can't wait.
Did you do a shed build on your channel?
Yes, I did, and I did exactly what Leo just said. I started off with a base. That was one video. Then the framework, then the walls, and then the roof. There's no way you could do it all in one go. It wouldn't work. I mean, most of my videos are far too long anyway. Someone isn't going to watch. It would have had to be a 2.5 hour video, and no one would have watched it. But it's, breaking it down into small pieces. But I suppose if you're going to do a shed build, do you do it from scratch, or do you buy a pre-made shed and adapt it for what you need? Do you modify it? There's a million different ways of building a shed. I built my shed doors from one of Leo's videos because you did one for an outside loo, I think you did.
Yeah.
So I blatantly copied that idea, but I used some old decking. But that was a whole video on its own, just for the doors. But yeah, it's very difficult to know how to advise what you should put on your own channel, because it's what you specifically want to do, and it's not until you do it that you find out whether people like it or not. I mean, you could do something you're really interested in, and nobody else cares about it. But whatever you want to do.
Sheds are always a good one, though. Sheds are
always a good one, yeah, because everybody wants a shed. If you're anything like us guys, a shed is your place. That's where you want to go. We've all started off in teeny tiny sheds. I mean, back to the question before, having a very small workshop, what do you make? You can only make small things, but it's all dependent on your ambition, really. I mean, before I started the YouTube channel, I had to make a podium for a wedding. So it was a massive grade podium. Well, it was a letterbox podium. So it was about 5 foot high, and it was a big podium. But at the time, I had a quarter of a garage, and that had a chest freezer in it. So the chest freezer was my only work surface. And I managed to make this thing, and it's all about how determined you are. It's an amazing learning curve, because you find a way to do it in the same way that Leo's done it. If you can't, haven't got all the tools or whatever you need, whatever the tools are, whether they're power tools, chisels, hammers, arms, you've got to find a way around it. And if you're that determined, you will find a way, and you'll learn so much more. You don't necessarily need a big space, but obviously once you do that, then your space will grow. But you've got to make sure you keep up your enthusiasm as big as your workshop is, because otherwise you get some of these massive workshops, but all you're doing is just producing, sort of production type of stuff. But people don't always find that interesting. No. Am I going on a bit? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, but that's beautifully put. That was so beautifully put as well. And I think it summarises what I think most of us have experienced. You're determined to have something which is a space for yourself. It's probably the reason why we call it shed space, because you just want that space where you can tuck yourself away, build whatever, do nothing, stare at your tools, polish your tools, whatever. Just take yourself away from the normal whatever of life. And if you want that, it doesn't matter how big the shed is. It doesn't make no difference. It doesn't matter if it's a shed, spare room, or I don't know. I started off with a little put-up gazebo type thing, and then I got a second-hand shed, and bigger and bigger. But yeah, beautifully put, Frank. You didn't go on at all, mate. That's exactly what it's all about. Yeah. Hey. Now, I want to know what we'd say is that that hour and 3 minutes. I don't know where that's gone.
Blimey, it's at the time. Oh,
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. God, that's
crazy.
Flown, that.
It's crazy. I felt the same was at Maker Central. I thought it's like, hey, time to go home already.
Do we need to finish on a dilemma or something that's not, so, have you done this before? Right.
Suspense. Yeah, we need something. I don't know what the one line is going to be, or something that's. I'm going to secret about Frank actually.
I forgot to put the ticker tape up, so if people can actually hit like on the video, so other people see it.
Oh yeah, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out.
Yeah.
Everyone, when this video's ended, I'll put everyone's links to everyone's channels below. So go over and I'm pretty sure subscribe to most of them anyway because we've got this great little community going here. There was a few things I wanted to mention, but I think we'll leave it for another time. We try and keep it to an hour, just so we don't. Look, we can probably talk 3 hours, 4 hours, all night. But I think it's good. We're doing short spurts. I will always say it. We just need to keep it on now. So, both you three guys, you'll come on again in the future, whenever. In fact, whenever you want to come on. I don't know what sort of limit we want to go up to. Anything you guys want to add to the mix? Or anything you want to mention? Any websites you want to mention? Any shout outs or whatever?
I would shout out Weird and Wonderful Wood Festival. I don't know if this is reversed, but it's Weird and Wonderful Wood Festival. It's a festival held in out towards Sussex type thing, out or might be Essex way type thing. But it's I've went twice to it. It's really good. It's got a load of wood. It's got quite a lot of people crafting stuff as well. Yeah. Before it used to be called the Weird and Wonderful Festival. Now it's the Weird and Wonderful Wood Festival. It's a wide variety of craft stuff as well as great ideas. You've got people doing hand like foot control aids and all that, and it was just a good day out.
Yeah, I think they clashed with Maker Central this year. It was on
I think it was a week before.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to try and get to both next year.
Nice one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just say thanks. Thanks for having us on, gents. Really, really enjoyed it. The website is hand-i-craft.com. And that's got all the links to my socials on the top across there. So if you want to, I do some blogs on there as well. I write some, kind of disability kind of type blogs as well. But also you get all the links to everything on that. So yeah, it's hand-i-craft.com. Thank you.
Brilliant. And if you can come on again in the future, Leo, when Mark's on as well, I think you two will have a lot to chat about.
Love to. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, love to.
Yeah,
thank you.
He missed out. He rang me this time and said, Rob, I've got to ring you because I didn't want to send you a WhatsApp and say I can't make it tonight. He's dead apologetic. And bless him, he took it to heart because he was supposed to come to Maker Central as well. And we booked a room to stay over that. Not one room, 2 rooms. To stay over the night before.
Just to clarify that.
I thought sometimes I have to think what I say. So anyway, he cancelled on me, but it's all good. I got money back, so
but you both had VIP tickets as well, which is fantastic.
I ended up. It was me that looked like a complete plum, the one walking out with this VIP. I didn't leave you though, did I, Frank? You know what I mean?
No. But you had your 1 cup of VIP coffee with a bit brown.
But the funny thing was, it was quite funny because Roger said to me, he says, "Are you gonna have your cake? Are you gonna have your bacon butter? Are you gonna have your cake?" I said, "I'll leave it." He said, I'm really hungry. I said, you go get it. He said, I can't walk in there. You've got the wristband on and all this. I felt bad, but yeah, look. I was going to do a bit of a spin on the video, actually. And is it worth buying a VIP ticket from Maker Central? No. If you're on your own, probably so. But if you're with people and chatting, then do you really need? Probably not. Anyway.
Yeah. I think what they should do, they should have more seating. Because the VIP bit's one of the only the only other seating is where the stages are. So, or where the kids' activities are. So you can't actually go and have a sit around and have a chat. And I don't know whether that's purposeful to get people to buy VIP tickets. So it's not worth spending the money so you can have a sit down. No, I personally don't think so.
Yeah, I think people were going off to Wetherspoons, weren't they? And just having a quick drink out there and then having a chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But you're right. It needs to be an event where people just meet up and just chat, or just walk around and chat. There was an interesting statement that Men in Sheds made a while back. If you put 10, I say blokes, but anybody, women, blokes, whatever, into a room with a broken lawnmower in the centre and say, fix that, they'll know everything about each person in that room by the time they fixed it because you're just chatting in general. You're doing something. You've got a common interest. and all them other people, and it's just like an icebreaker. And sometimes we just need light relief, and this is why we do this. But what's better than having a chat with your mates on a Thursday night in your shed? I mean, what could be better than? Look, anyone we've missed in the comments, sorry, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to share the £65 cup of coffee.
There it is. There you go. You got it.
Yeah. Well, it was like, as when a comment comes in, it shifts. So by the time you click, sometimes you hit the wrong comment.
So, yeah, it's getting a bit
technology.
Yeah.
Do you know what you've done really well though tonight, Calum? Just to keep on top of it, you can do multitask. I cannot in the slightest. And,
I can't even get my headset working.
Frank's now on his third set of earphones and microphones.
Poor Frank.
Yeah, I think it's the Mac that I keep plugging into. I should go back to a PC. This Mac is just not doing it for me.
Yeah, I think somebody stop buying Parkside earphones and Microsoft.
Maybe I should get some Ferrix ones. That'd be
That's it. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Because Stanley Fat Macs don't do any.
Look, I think we'll end it there, guys. Hour and 10 minutes. We're going to do it again. To be continued. I don't know what we're going to end on. I don't know what we're going to end on. The boom, boom, boom. We'll think of something. Let's see if Leo's got any secrets from the Channel 4 show.
A secret?
Yeah. Non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement. I'm sorry, fella. I had to sign a watertight NDA.
I bet you did.
In fact, none apart from Pam, none of my family, nobody knew that I went down to film it.
Wow.
I had a cover story. The only people who knew was Pam, and I asked my employer because I wanted to get their permission because I was still a teacher at the time. So I had a cover story, and nobody knew at all until the week before it came on because I rang them up and said I'm going to be on the adverts on Channel 4. So not a soul knew that I did it, and I managed to keep it that way for over a year, 15 months. So yeah,
my postman knows, milkman and know, everybody knows. I couldn't keep that secret.
Yeah, so
well done for it.
Right, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, well, so think of there must have been a few late nights that you might be able to spill some secrets. We'll leave that to the next one. Everyone that's joined in tonight, thank you so much. Calum, Frank, Leo, It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me again.
Cheers, gents. All right. Cheers, gents. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Bye.